Hello everyone, it's Amy and welcome back for week 90 of the new Builder Stash and Craft. So today we are going to make beaded pens. I saw Treasure Books make these, and I thought that is just the most awesome thing to make. But she had a lot of like Jesse James beads. A lot of the beads with big holes in them, which is what you need, are like maybe more a little bit high end, or they're the little wooden beads, the cheap, kind of cheap ones. So we're going to make them with the wooden beads. And I used what I had in my personal stash. I didn't go out and buy anything. But all of these things came from, these are kids' beads. These were a necklace, a broken necklace. This was a broken necklace. These were just beads that I got at a secondhand store. So keep your eyes open, excuse me, for beads with big holes in them. That's the biggest thing. But you don't have to have those today to make what we're going to make, because we're going to make our own beads. And go from there. So this is, these are the ones that I've made. I didn't put any kind of danglies on here because I didn't have any. Then I got to thinking, I don't have to have, she had like a bead that had a hoop on it that you could attach charms to. You can just tie a piece of fancy yarn or regular yarn or crochet thread, regular thread, anything. You can just tie it between two of the beads and attach a charm. You don't have to go to the store and buy charms. Pull them off of old necklaces. The big pendants you can use for lots of things, but a lot of necklaces have little charms. Bracelets especially have little charms on them. So when you collect old junk jewelry, remember, just put all of your little charms together. So, and I just used some eyelash trim that I had in my stash and just tied it around here and tied a charm to one end. Now, I haven't decided yet if I want to tie two charms on there or not, so I haven't done a second one. But I think that it turns out really cool. Now, the other thing you're going to need is your heavy super gel glue. So, because if you just put these all on here, and let's say you just glue like the top one so they don't all fall out, the thing is they're a little bit wiggly. So if you glue them all together, I think this one, there's one of them I think that's a little bit loose. This one's really quite solid. So is that one. But this one must be the one that's a little loose. And I think part of that is because I tied this on before it was dry and I was kind of messing with it. So the biggest thing is, yeah, it's only a little loose right there. The rest of it's pretty stiff. Put it all together and then give your glue a chance to dry. Give it a good couple hours, really overnight, before you start messing with them, because that way that will dry really solid and you'll have a nice solid pen to use, because you don't want a flopsy pen to use. But and they all work. And the types of pens that I used, I started out, this one had this silver bit on the bottom. I believe it was like a black kind of big pen. And excuse me, when I took it apart, the silver part came off. So it was just the inside of the pen. It didn't hold the silver to it. So I glued the silver back on, up towards the top. And then I glued this on here to kind of hold it also to decorate it up a little bit, because there was a gap there. But, so I found that the pens that work really well, my father had these, Papa had these, and these were in his drawer, and these are just big stick pens, and it works perfectly for what we want. So you can do them in any, the black ones, the blue ones, but, and I think this was the kind with the white barrel. Let's see, oh no, this one with the silver came in this type of a pen, which came from the Dollar Tree. And so when I took it off, the silver part unscrewed, but it didn't stick to the whole shaft of the pen. So that didn't work as well. It still works, but I like it where the end of the pen stays on so it stops your bead. So I'll show you what I mean there. And you're just going to pull this off. And you can use little pliers to pull it off. They really, if you kind of get a hold of There's a bit of a groove there, and they're pretty easy to pull off. I had one as a used pen, but then I got to looking, and about half of the ink was gone. And I thought, well, I don't want to make these because you are gluing them all together and only have half of a pen's worth of ink. So, you know, but if you want to make one and that's all you have, make it that way. It's all right. So anyways, and I kept these because I thought, well, these would be kind of cool. This part does come out. And you know, the end can come off. You could cut these up. You could, you know, use them for some kind of decoration. You could cap each end and put seed beads in the middle. And, well, you know, you could just leave that cap on there and put tape or something to cap this end, put some seed beads in there, and you would see them between there, turn it into some kind of a little charm. So, but anyways, let's get back to this. Excuse me for clearing my throat. I'm going to grab a quick drink of coffee. Oh, haven't had my coffee yet this morning, but I only have so much time before I have to get ready for work. Okay, so this is what we're going to make. And so we've got a pen, hopefully out of our pen drawer, out of our junk drawer, and I do like it where it's got the end on it, but if it doesn't, if this part comes off, you can just glue something to the end there. It will work. Okay, so let's say you don't have any of these beads. So, you know, then you can't make it today, but you can, because all you need to do is take one of your skewers. I don't remember if we made a bead roller yet in the series or not. So I know I've made one a few times, but you're just going to kind of soften that up a little bit, roll it around there, put just a touch of glue right at the very beginning. And then just roll. Now I'm doing straight paper beads today, but you don't have to. And actually, if I could have found the beads that I've already rolled, I wouldn't have done this. I would have just showed you, but I can't find my rolled beads. So we're going to roll one. And also I'm going to show you, just in case I'm not sure if this skewer is big enough. I tried to find a skewer that I thought that would make the hole big enough to fit on my pen. But if it doesn't, I'm going to show you what to do. All right, so I'm just going to line that up. Glue this end, and you can make this bead as wide as you want it. So I did a whole 11 inches of paper, because this was from an 8.5 by 11 piece of regular copy paper. Okay, and then you can paint this with fingernail polish, you can color on it, you can do whatever you want with it. Let's see if it fits on our pen. It does. So see, now we've got a bead to fit on our pen. But I want something that's going to fit over here. So for the bead we're going to make today, I found a wooden bead that did fit over this little bit here. But this one doesn't. Now you could do two things. You could kind of massage it down there like this. And then glue that on there like that. And then put another bead just from here up. Like that, and just keep going. All right, so, or you can make a bead that's got a little bit of a bigger hole in it. And if your hole's not big enough, if your skewer's not big enough to make your hole big enough, just take a piece of masking tape and wrap it around your skewer. Excuse me. That will make your skewer bigger, which will make your hole bigger. And you'll be able to make a bead big enough to fit on your pen or to fit down on the other part if that's what you need. So there we go. So see, now it's that much bigger. Hard to see, but it is. And we'll see if that's enough. If it's not enough, we'll just add a little bit to it. So we're just going to put this on here. Put just a little bit to hold it. Try and keep it lined up a little bit, but when you take it off, you can line it up. I'm going to take it off right now, push it together. And we'll see if this one's big enough. So you can make your holes bigger just by doing that. You could even wrap them right around your pen if you want to. And there we go. By doing that, now it's big enough to come all the way to the bottom. So, and then the next one, we can either put a little more paper so it's the same size, but you don't really want them all to be the same size. It will look just like your pen. So you want them to be different widths. Well, let's go with different widths. This one's a 1/2 inch. This one's an inch. And I got some 3/4 here too. Make them different widths. Paint them different colors. They can even be different thicknesses. Like this one is going to be thicker than the other one. And the reason is because we made the hole bigger. So they're not quite the same size. See, there's a little bit of a difference there. And that's the kind of thing that you know, that will make it look even more unique. But then paint those up. Now I have some beads here. When I was looking for my paper beads, I couldn't find any. These are beads just wrapped around a piece of tubing. And so that's what I grabbed because that's what I could find. But, you know, like I said, you can make your own just like this and they'll look just the same when you paint them up. This just had book pages wrapped around it. So I did put a bead on the end, which you've got now your big fat bead by using your masking tape, and then just put your paper beads on there. So I just painted these up with some fingernail polish. They were just plain book page when I pulled them out. So I just used some fingernail polish and painted them up. I didn't like how well I didn't like it as well as it was flat. So then I got out the gold fingernail polish. Oh no, I used some gold paint, but you can also use gold fingernail polish. And just I dotted on it and did some little painting on there. But so you can do that. If you have another bead like that one there, you can go ahead and put that on the top. Now the thing is that there's a hole in the top. And the thing is, that's a good thing, because if you'll notice, most pens have a hole in the top of them. And maybe not all of them, but now this one does not, but a lot of them will have a little bit of a hole in the top, and that like lets the air get down in there. So I guess it doesn't matter because that one doesn't have it. So, you know, you can do something to fill the top of this if you want to. You could put some of your fibers coming out of there and hanging over. That would be really cute. I also, if you don't have any beads, remember we made one to fit down at the bottom. We made our bigger one. But so you want a bead for the top, make one of your cardboard beads. Now these are a couple that I had here. Both of them are off center on the holes. I did that on purpose because I was doing them for something else, but then I wanted to try and put one on here. So it is going to be a little crooked, but that's because the hole is on here crooked. But so I just went ahead and made that hole, put my skewer in there and just kind of pushed it so my hole got just a little bit wider because it wasn't quite wide enough. And there we go. Now I have that on top. Now if you have an old chain, you can take an old chain. You can take just one little piece of chain and hang it on there. And to make it easier, if you got nice big holes on your chain, just go ahead and, how high do I want that? Maybe I want it right at the top. Just put that right over there before you put your last bead on. And then you don't even have to try and get it around there. It's, you know, it's already on there. And push that all down. Glue everything in except for that, so that that can just kind of move around a bit. And then just take a charm and hook a charm on the end of that. Isn't that cute? And if you want to have it, if you want to have two of them, don't put two on there. That takes up a lot of space. Just go ahead and take your chain and put it on like that. So there's one, and then cut the other one if you want it the same length or a little bit shorter. You know, you don't want to get stuff down here where you're going to hold it too much. So, you know, you'll want to keep them up in this area, but just maybe cut your chain right there, and then you'll have two chains and put your bead on top. So, but I thought I would do one chain on here and then just put a charm on the end of that. And I will glue all of these on with the super glue. And I just put the super glue right on the post. That's not the super glue. I use a toothpick to do it, and I just put a little bit out. And the first one that I made, I tried to like put the super glue up like the whole thing, and it really dries fast. So you're better off to just take some of your gel super glue, put it on there where your bead's going to be, and then go ahead and put on your bead. And as you're pushing it down, it's going to push some of that super glue. I kind of turn it a little bit, and it pushes some of that super glue, so that also glues it to the next one. So you want to have enough super glue on there that it does kind of push the super glue down a little bit to glue them together. So you're just going to put that on there. Oh, and also I did not like the blue of the bottom of the pen sticking out. And because I twist this, I don't put the glue all the way around, because when you twist it, that just moves it all for you. So I just kind of twist it as I go. And then we'll put our chain on there. If you forget to put your chain, you can always open it up and put it on later. But it is easiest to put it on that way, because then you're not trying to mess around in between your beads, and you know you've got enough space there also. And I'm going to leave this just a little bit above that chain, because I don't really want to glue that chain right tight. I want it to be able to move a little bit. So I'm just going to go right up to it and then let it dry like that. If it does get glued, that's totally fine. But so these ones here, which this one looks cute with the blue end because it's got the blue beads on it. And this one, it looks good with the blue end. This one, I don't really like that blue end. It needs to be something else. So I do have some brown fingernail polish somewhere, and I'm going to paint that brown. This one, I didn't like that blue with all of these light colors, so I used the same fingernail polish that I used to paint these beads, and I just painted 2 coats right onto the blue. Now make sure that you keep it from on the blue plastic part. Don't get it down here on this part. If you make sure you keep it on the blue plastic, then there's no chance that you're going to get it down here on the roller ball. The roller ball is on the end, but if you start getting it down in here, if you get some on that roller ball, then your pen's not going to work. And so what I did do is, after I painted it, I did make sure that my pen was working. And so that way, if anything was on there, I was hoping that would definitely make sure that that rubbed it off and that the pen was still rolling. So, but be careful not to get it down there, because you don't want to make your whole pen and then find out it doesn't work. So there we go. That is our project for today. It is simple and easy. And like I said, I'm going to pull a charm out for that one. And they don't have to have charms on them. You can make your own kind of charms. You can use wooden beads, but you definitely, right here, this whole thing, well, I guess this wooden bead is store-bought, but I did make the one that would have fit there instead. So, and like I said, you can make them any shape that you want to, or any size that you want to, you know, in width and even in width this way. So I really do appreciate it. I hope that you like these pens. They are really, really cute. And this is a really inexpensive way to make them. They'll look really cute to go with your journals. I just think that, you know, having a pen to go with your journal is a good thing. And I always try and find something that kind of goes with it, whether they're colored gel pens or something. And so I thought, oh, this is just perfect. So these are even handmade pens that you can use to put with your journals or to give with some kind of a gift. So thank you very much for stopping by. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And I hope that you all have an outstanding day. Bye-bye.